call this meeting to order. If you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, if I could please have a roll call.
Supervisor Alexavian.
Here.
Trustee Jean Morelli.
Here.
Trustee Craig Beckus. Absent. Trustee Karen Johnson. Absent. Trustee Denise Lopino.
Present.
Highway Commissioner Jim Welch.
Here.
Assessor Mary Williamson. Here. Collector Joseph Kennedy. Absent. Attorney Gary Miller.
Present.
Thank you. First item on the agenda for the Road and Bridge Fund is I have two sets of minutes up for approval. One is the monthly meeting of March 3rd, 2025. The other is for the public hearing for March 3rd, 2025. I will need a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that
I
motion.
have a motion by Denise Salvino,
Second.
second by Dean Morelli. Any questions on the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to bills. I have bills in the amount of $106,201.13. I will need a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Denise Salvino,
Second.
second by Dean Morelli. Any questions on the bills? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Sabian.
Yes.
Morelli.
Yes.
Lopino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Do we have any citizens wishing to address the board tonight in regards to the Road and Bridge Fund meeting? Hearing and seeing none, move on to the Highway Commissioner's report. Commissioner Lausch, the floor is yours.
No report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no other business. Seeing as there's no other business, can I entertain a motion to adjourn the Road and Bridge Fund meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Denise Salvino,
Second.
second by Dean Morelli. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Road and Bridge Fund meeting is adjourned. Moving on to the Town Fund meeting. First, I am up for approval. I have two sets of minutes. One is for the monthly meeting of March 3rd, 2025. The second is for the public hearing on March 3rd, 2025. I will need a motion to approve both sets of minutes.
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Denise Salvino,
Second.
second by Dean Morelli. Any questions on the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to bills. I have bills in the amount of $229,823.93. I will need a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Dean Morelli.
I'll second.
I have a second by Denise Salvino. Any questions on the bills? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Morelli.
Yes.
Salvino.
Yes.
Sabian.
Yes. Motion carries. Do we have any citizens wishing to address the board tonight in regards to the town fund? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to the clerk's report. Madam Clerk, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Supervisor. The month of March was a very busy time for the clerk's office. We had early voting that ran for 2 weeks. We served just under 1,000 Will County voters. Additionally, since our last meeting, we have had over 113 notaries and distributed over 58 bundles of diapers. Jessica and I have been working daily on community funding. Statements of economic interest need to be filed by May 1st, 2025. There are still board members that need to file. Lastly, we are all set for the annual town meeting to be held tomorrow night, Tuesday, April 8th at 6:30 p.m. There are no agenda items, so we will anticipate this meeting. And that's it.
Thank you. Assessor's report, Assessor Williamson.
Thank you. I don't have much this evening. The tentative factor that I talked about at a previous meeting that we were anticipating would be almost as high as 13%. It turns out it's not going to be that high. The county supervisor of assessments, those were very preliminary figures, and assessors were not actually notified that they were as preliminary as they were. Currently, as soon as the tentative factor, the tentative abstract arrives from the State of Illinois Department of Revenue, we'll have a better idea, but it looks like our factor will be closer to 7%, between 6 and 7%. So that's significant. So that's, I'm sure that will make everyone feel better. As far as exemptions, the annual renewals for exemptions like the senior assessment freeze and the annual renewals for disabled veterans or disabled persons, those will be mailed April 11th from the Will County Supervisor of assessments. Those can be brought here to the township building to be filled out if you need help, or you can take those also to the Will County building. And then tax bills will be mailed, property tax bills for 2024 will be mailed by the Will County treasurer. Generally, those go out on May 1st, and those due dates then in 2 installments are usually June 1st and September 1st. And I always try to remind people to check your property tax bill. If you see an issue with your exemptions, or you have any questions, call the assessor's office and we'll see what we can do to answer those for you. And then that's all I have this evening.
Awesome, thank you. Do you have any comments or suggestions from the trustees tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on to the building report. So first, regarding building report, I did want to give a quick update on the new garage. So first and foremost, I want to remind the board that back in late February, the city of Lockport did grant us a certificate of compliance for the garage. I included it in everyone's packet. This was also in the packet for the March meeting, but just including it again once more. The punch list was actually completed in late March, so March 26, 2025. I did include here the final invoice. I want to remind folks that there was 10% left for the garage. I recall that there was one concern at our previous board meeting regarding the downspout on the northwest side of the garage. I included a few diagrams for the board. I know it's not the best diagrams, but I'll walk the board through the documents in the packet. The first sheet in the packet is like a drawing, drawn by hand. If you see the top, right, you'll see that there's, the pipe leads to the top, and there's like a grate lid and a bubbler at the top. And then if you look at the bottom drawing represents what we have currently, which is a large container that extends 2 feet downwards to the ground, has drainage holes, and then has an additional 2 feet of gravel towards the bottom. The pitch should be 10.5-inch pitch minimum. It's actually a little bit higher than that. And then in regards to this difference, because it is technically different from what the architect had proposed, I did present this drawing as well as images to the architect, who then addressed it with the civil engineer in regards to, is this system functional? And per their email, they said, yes, they approved this, assuming that we didn't get charged any additional funds for this, and we did not. So per the civil engineer and the architect, the downspout is functional enough to code. And again, other than that, the contractor was here, 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago to complete the punch list, was just for machinery and, plant the seeds for the grass. Punch list is completed. Any questions on the garage? No? All right, well, in that case, if I could entertain a motion to pay the final invoice of the new garage.
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Karen Johnson,
A second.
second by Dean Morelli. Madam Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Sapien?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Morelli?
Yes.
Savino?
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on now to Canal Days. So I have here in the packet a document on Canal Days. I'll also bring it up on the screen. But I want to remind folks that Canal Days is from June 5th to June 8th. The parade takes place, I believe, on June 5th. But the parade takes place on one of those days.
I think it's on
June-
Friday,
June
June
6th?
6th.
It's June 6th.
Okay. Parade takes place on Friday, June 6th, in the evening. There is normally an entry fee to enter, and last year we did partake in the parade sponsorship, which is an amount of $500, which includes, again, an entry in the parade, as well as logos, social media, etc. Wanted to discuss with the board to see if that's something that the board is interested in again this year. Yeah, I'm seeing a nod.
I say a great sponsor's fine.
Okay. In that case, if I could If I could entertain a motion to support Canal Days with a parade sponsorship.
I'll make that
A
motion.
motion by Denise Salvino,
I'll second.
second by Karen Johnson. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call?
Salvino,
Yes?
Johnson,
Yes.
Morelli,
Yes.
Sapien.
Yes. Motion carries. Moving on now to the next item, which is the top 10% dinner, another recurring item. I included in everyone's packet, but I did receive a letter from the Lockport Removal Club regarding their top 10% dinner with Lockport Township High School, which will take place on Wednesday, April 23rd at 6 p.m. at Denoco's Banquet in Homewood Glen. I did check that in previous years, including last year, we have approved support in the amount of $250 for Silver Division. I'll defer to the board to discuss a potential sponsorship. Full disclosure, I am a member of the Lockport Rotary. I didn't ask them to send this letter, but it is here, and any vote taken, I will be sure to abstain from it.
We've been supporting this event for years. I think it's a great thing for the community, so I'm in support of it. I'm good with continuing
Okay.
at that level.
In that case, if I could entertain a motion to support the top 10% dinner with a $250 Silver Division sponsorship.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Lady Salvino,
I'll second.
second by Karen Johnson. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call?
Morelli,
Yes.
Salvino,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Sapien.
Abstain. Motion carries. Moving on to new business. So first is regarding the community mental health project. I did include an invoice. Now again, quick note that this invoice is actually for the month of February, because in March, because we had our meeting a little bit earlier, I only had the January invoice at the time, I do have the February invoice. Because our April meeting is a little bit earlier, I don't have March invoice yet. I should expect that tomorrow. But for the February invoice, total amount that came in was a little over $11,500. You notice the grant balance says it's in the negative $4,500, but again, I want to remind the board that last month we did transfer over an amount of $30,000, which should cover for the remainder of the term. So that grant balance is not technically negative. Any questions? Move on to scholarships updates. So for the scholarships, the winners were actually chosen just late last week, and I actually did sign off the formal letters today that will go to the schools. These schools will then announce these winners in their ceremonies in April and May, and then the township will formally award and announce the scholarship winners in June. Reverse old business, Roman will have their State of the Village on Thursday, March 20th at the Romeo Event Center. And then upcoming events, as the clerk said, the annual town meeting is happening tomorrow, April 8th at 6:30 p.m. here at the township. I don't have any meeting or correspondence tonight. Do we have any final questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, if I could entertain a motion to adjourn the town fund meeting.
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Denise Salvino,
I'll second.
second by Karen Johnson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The town fund meeting is adjourned. Moving on to the senior fund meeting. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes for the monthly meeting of March 3rd, 2025. I will need a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Denise Salvino,
A second.
second by Karen Johnson. Any questions on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. For bills, I have bills in the amount of $22,869.01. I will need a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Denise Salvino,
A second.
second by Karen Johnson. Any questions on the bills? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call?
Sapien,
Yes.
Morelli,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Salvino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Do we have any citizens wishing to address the board tonight in regards to the senior fund meeting? Hearing and seeing none, we move on to bus report and new business. For bus report, which we have the last page in the senior fund packet. In March, we had a total of 529 trips. There was 29 business days where the bus was operational, so it averaged out to about 25.2 rides per day, which is along our year-to-date average. If we look at the bottom of Exhibit C in the graph, we'll see that our average rides per month went up from 506 to 513, again, but we're still within that low 80% utilization mark that we've seen in previous years. Any questions on the bus report? Well, I have no other business, new or old. I could entertain a motion to adjourn the senior fund meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Denise Salvino,
I'll second.
second by Karen Johnson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Senior fund meeting is adjourned. Moving on to the GA meeting. I have the approval of minutes for the monthly meeting of March 3rd, 2025. I'll need a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Denise Salvino,
I'll second.
second by Karen Johnson. Do we have any questions on the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of bills. I have bills in the amount of $50,665.29. I will need a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Denise Salvino,
I'll second.
second by Karen Johnson. Any questions on the bills? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Johnson,
Yes.
Salvino,
Yes.
Sapien,
Yes.
Early.
Motion carries. Do we have any citizens wishing to address the board tonight in regards to general assistance? Hearing and seeing none. Move on to GA report and new business. For the GA report, if you flip to the last 2 pages in your packet, you'll have the usual reports. One is grant disbursements, the other is system activity report. If you look at system activity report, you'll see we had 9 total applications in the month of March. 6 of them were not eligible for general assistance. Of 3 of them were still in process at the time of the report. Of those 6 that were not eligible, 5 out of the 6 were eligible for emergency assistance for a total grant amount of $4,146.07. If you look at grant disbursements, the report right before it, you'll notice that the total disbursed is a little bit higher by $700. The reason for that was because in the report for February presented in March, there was a grant that was approved for an individual, but his utility bill was paid via credit card due to urgency, and so that approval shows up in the previous month's report, but didn't get paid until, it got paid last month, but it was later on this report. Otherwise, the numbers check out. I have no other business to hold. Bless you. Any final questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, if I could entertain a motion to adjourn the general assistance meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Denise Salvino,
I'll second.
second by Karen Johnson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
So April 7th, you said, of 2026? That's the second Tuesday or first?